Some people would say that all greatest stories can be retold in just 3 sentences. Yes, it's hard, but it is like this. Don't think about very complex stories. Think about children's stories. Think about legends. Think about folk tales. These are the most basic structures we can find. And I want you to think about one of these stories, and try to retell it in 3 sentences. 1 sentence for the introduction, 1 sentence for the plot, and 1 sentence for the resolution. Okay? Try it. I can wait while you try it. Yes, perfect. This is the idea. So it's not just summarizing the story, but identifying what we need to do in each part. So we introduce the characters, we introduce their situation, we introduce the dramatic element that changes everything, that triggering event. We expanded how they try to solve these conflicts, and by the end of the story we need to show what the characters learned or how the universe was modified by this event. Now try a different thing. Now, instead of thinking about a well-known story, just tell a story about yourself. Just remember an anecdote, remember something that happened throughout the week, and I want you to again divide the information in these 3 parts. Usually when we tell a story, when we tell an anecdote, we just start talking. But if we can be more precise in the description, we can divide all the information in these 3 different blocks. So, introduction, who are you and what do you usually do? Triggering event, what happened, what changed, what's the reason behind the story, behind this anecdote, why am I telling this to you? Plot, conflict, actions that you or the characters have taken in order to solve the problem. Are there elements of help and elements of obstaculizing your goal? Try to cover both. And at the end, what worked, what changed, and what did you learn from that experience? You can try it. And here's another exercise that you can try out with people in the real world or in the virtual world. Just get together with 2 other people and practice this exercise. One of you will be in charge of the introduction, the second is going to be in charge of the plot, and the third is going to be in charge of the resolution. So at the beginning, you just try to tell the story, giving 1 sentence each. The sentence could be shorter, it could be longer, but what's important is to have all the ingredients for each part. Try it, give it a couple of shots, and switch the roles. If you were in charge of introduction, then plot, then blah 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 blah. Just try to try every role. After this, go longer. What happens if you, instead of having 1 sentence, you can have as many sentences as you want, but only to provide the information that we need. So try not to start talking about insignificant details, but try to be as precise as you want. Okay? And again, switch roles, change whatever you want. One other element that we need to address here is basically 2 concepts. It's the concept of advancing and expanding. Usually when we start telling a story, we expand the universe. We describe, we use description, we use adjectives to define the location, the characters, the goals, and everything there is to know about them. And at a certain point, when something happened, we conjugate a verb. We give an action. Something happens that changes this normalcy. We know that. So now with this exercise, I want you to practice both things. So let's start with, you can do it in a circle with more people and try this. The first in charge just starts with, this is the story of, and names a character. For instance, this is the story of a rabbit named Joe. That's it. That's the only thing you have to do. The second person in the circle has to repeat what you just said and add information. So basically, this is the story of a rabbit named Joe that likes jumping in the backyard. It could be anything, but we give them another element. keep expanding and expanding and expanding. So keep giving information about not only the characters, but the relationships between the characters, the locations, the universe, everything there is to know about them before we give them an action. Once you've given maybe a couple of turns in the circle, it's time to move forward. So you go with the action, you go with the advancing. Something happens to the characters or the characters do something. So after we know everything there is to know about the rabbit, then the rabbit does something or something happens to Joe. Okay, so give it a try. And once you reach this, just stop there. Stop there and analyze all the description that you made. Is there anything else that we need to know before moving forward? If the answer is no, move forward. If the answer is, hey, maybe we can expand a little more of this, keep expanding. Once we advance, it's very hard to expand again. This is improvisers. When something happens, we just move forward and never look back. So it's very important for us to check that we expanded all the universe correctly. We can do it later, but it's very important for us to expand this platform. So give it a try, and then you can tell me how it went.